Hey everybody, this is Greg Koo, Senior Content and Workflow Specialist for the Sports and Live Events team at Ross Video. This is the first Tessera One series video, and in this video we are going to go over some handy preferences, hardware configurations, making a new project, and how to set up the new low latency scalar material. Okay, let's get into it. First, we're going to open up the Tessera One edition of XPression. And from here, we're going to get into a few of the preferences. Now, these preferences are probably already set up with the install of the system, but these are good preferences to know for the future if anything changes or you want to modify anything yourself. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Edit Preferences. The first preference here to look at would be the hardware renderer. This is going to ensure that XPression is using the GPU that's installed on the Tessera One hardware. So we want to make sure that the NVIDIA graphics card is the adapter that is selected, and the default anti-aliasing is 8 times. The next preference to check would be down here under the sequencer. Now in the sequencer area, the one preference that I always like to enable right away is this one here. The tab key advances through template data fields. This is going to allow the sequencer to be more of your traditional CG style workflow where the tab key is going to tab through the data fields of each of your take IDs. In the sequencer continued page, one setting that I like to enable is the disable of saving of take items thumbnails to your project. By enabling this setting, your project save times and load times will be significantly faster when your project becomes much larger. The next preference to check out is in the video engine page. Make sure that cache clips on GPU instead of host memory is disabled. The next preference to check is the as run log page. Make sure that your format is using the standard as run log formatter layout. This will allow you to use the XPression as run log formatter to better view your as run logs in the future. Okay, that's it for our preferences. Next, we're going to check out the Tessera settings. So under Edit, down to Tessera Settings. Now with the Tessera One edition, the Tessera mode is defaulted to single engine. So we don't have to worry about the mode here. But something to talk about is if we're going to use a global region map or a project region map. Both of these have their use cases. By default, we use a project region map, which gets saved to each specific project in XPression, whereas a global map will be one map that multiple projects can all share. The next thing we want to look at is the hardware setup. Now there's a few new checkboxes here to enable the low latency scalar. So under Edit Hardware Setup, we're going to get into the matrix setting here, so I'm going to double click on the matrix card. Now currently my board is formatted for 2 fill outputs. A few settings to check here. The first one would be to go into output 1. Make sure that output 1 is using the GPU color space conversion, and make sure that the onboard compositing is enabled. We're going to make sure these 2 settings are also set on output 2 as well. And the last thing to check here is in our inputs to make sure that the GPU color space conversion is enabled on both of our inputs. After we ensure that all those checkboxes are set, we're going to click Apply and OK. The next hardware setup we're going to look at here is our Rosstalk GPI board. Rosstalk is the protocol most commonly used to control XPression from external devices. Those external devices can be third-party devices and obviously ROS devices. Now, this is typically set up already, but if it's not, it's good to know how to set one of these up. We're going to go to Add, and from the drop-down, we're going to select Smart GPI Rosstalk, and the default settings here are going to be just fine. We'll hit OK, and now we have our Rosstalk Smart GPI card enabled. Let's make our first project and then look at how we can make a low latency scalar material. From the top, I'm going to go to File, New. On the left-hand side would be my format that I'm going to work in. I'm going to select 1080p 5994. And now I'm going to select where I want my project to save to. As a good practice, I like to have all my XPression projects in their own specific folder, and everything then can stay contained. And we'll look at what folders get created in the next step. I'm going to give this a project name. Select my folder. And now naming my project here, I'm going to call this Training Version 1. Now to see what folders are automatically created when I make my new project, I go up here to the Explore button on the top. It'll open me to my project folder. Inside here, we'll see 6 defaulted folders that XPression will create inside of my project folder. If your material manager is not open, Control M will open up your material manager. Now to make a new scalar material, I'm going to go over to the material manager. I'm going to right click and say New Live Source. From the Live Source dropdown, I can select either Input 1 or Input 2. And after I select my input, we'll see a checkbox here for Onboard Scalar. When I enable that, it's now going to be a low latency scalar material, and I can apply that to my quad. And now I have live, low latency material passing in and out of my Tessera One. And that's going to be the conclusion on the preferences, hardware configuration, making a project, and how to get your first low latency scalar material built inside of your Tessera One system.